What up, guys? Good evening. Welcome, night two. Last night was stressful as hell. I was annoyed. I got my hoodie on. I'm war ready. We in the fight for our lives right now. I went to sleep pessimistic. I went to bed around 3 o'clock after Trump made that bullshit ass speech. And I was looking at that map and I was like, I don't know. Today, we're in a different mindset. But we in the war. We war ready. I'm war ready. Okay? Shout out to Jesus. Okay? We're war ready. I had to take off the robe, put on the hoodie and the do-rag because we boxing right now. We boxing for the soul of the country. And that's just facts. It's no getting around that. I went to bed, like I said, thinking, I don't know. And now, as of 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we in this. We in the game. Shout out to the mail-in ballots coming through in the clutch. Okay? But I tell you one thing. That speech, I'm going to start there because we got a couple of things to cover. I ain't going to keep you all night because I got a feeling we're going to be talking pretty much for the rest of the week. Okay, but last night I was just too disgusted. I couldn't bring myself to come back on because I was pissed and I didn't want to ramble, right? But last night, let's start there. Last night at around 2 something, I had actually dozed off at around 12-ish. I was so upset. And I woke up around 1:30, almost 2 o'clock, and they like, the president gonna make a speech. I'm like, oh shit. He come out there, say the craziest shit out his mouth, and I'm like, oh my God, we're being held hostage. Like, this is really it. We're in, like, to me, that shit felt like I was watching a terrorist or some shit like that. Like one of them Jean-Claude Van Damme movies where it was like, bitch, we like shit. You know what I'm saying? But we wake up, and this electoral college map is looking a little different. I'm looking at the news now. That Georgia lead is shrinking, niece. Now, I'm going to be clear. Pennsylvania's still being counted. However, I don't think Biden is going to get Pennsylvania. I could be wrong, but I'm like, Pennsylvania, it is what it is. You know, no shade to Philly, because y'all doing y'all job. So Philly and Pennsylvania, it's in the same state. I mean, it's Philly is inside Pennsylvania, but Philly and Pennsylvania is a state. It's two different people. If you ever been to Philadelphia, it's a little bit different. But Texas, y'all tried. Shout out to my friends in Texas. But I think what we found out today, well, last night was Texas is still Texas. But y'all tried. Texas tried. Florida can never be counted on for anything. And here's the thing. Let's get into this piece real quick, right? Because the thing is, and I said this in a post that I posted this morning when I woke up disgusted before I looked at the news. In this country, much like how we view black people, we view the Latin community as one thing. Oh, Latinos, they're people in cages, bitch. They not gonna vote for Trump. Hell no. It's a difference, niece. It's the reason why they automatically call California. The Mexican community went ahead and did what they had to do. But when you look at the Puerto Rican community, the Cuban community, the Venezuelan community, that shit, when you be seeing these little articles on BuzzFeed and shit about colorism within the Latin community, that shit is real. And I'm not going to pretend to be an authority on that culture. I'm not going to appropriate it or try to say I know the ins and outs and I'm an authority on Latin culture because I'm not. But having Latin friends, and seeing how these votes work and knowing the colorism that goes on in that community, you can see a clear difference why the Mexicans, the Guatemalans voted for Biden. Because really, it's their children that are in cages. It's not the Puerto Rican children. It's not the Cuban children. Okay? It's not the Venezuelan children in those cages. So that is the difference. So I think a lesson was learned by a lot of us. Okay? About that community and that demographic and how you have to service that demographic a specific kind of way. Now, I don't know the nationality of Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, but when I looked at this, it makes sense why they vote and why they are affiliated with the party that they are. Why they say the things that they do. Why, when these kids were in cages, they made statements, but I was like, how the fuck is they still rocking with this? Like, in your mind, you thinking like, what's going on? That's what was going on. And I don't want to offend nobody, but I've heard this from a lot of Mexican people, from quite a few Mexican people. That particular cross-section kind of identifies more with white people. So now it makes sense to me. Now it makes sense to me. Yes, I'm keeping the hood up, bitch, because we war ready. We in the fight. We boxing right now. Okay, we boxing. Okay? And so that makes sense. Okay? Now, looking at this electoral college map right now. Okay? Looking at this map. Now, I'm looking at the Associated Press's map. Some outlets are calling races a little bit too fast. Some outlets are calling races a little bit too slow. Okay? Now, you know I love CNN, but they're not the end-all be-all of my research. However, what I will say is that I like that CNN is calling the races slow, because you don't want to jump to conclusions when you still have all of these votes to be counted. Okay? So in this case, I'm not mad at that. Okay? I'm not mad at that at all. Because you don't want to get people, oh shit, like I told all my friends is like, bitch, you think we're going to take it? They texted me, I don't know, girl, you think it's going to... Nah, I'm not happy. I'm not getting happy. I'm not sharing no kind of memes about package shit. I ain't doing none of that. Because devils of this kind don't go easily into the night. So I see y'all online sharing your memes, your little Pose memes and shit, your Simpsons memes and shit, package shit, get out the office. I ain't doing it, sis. I'm not doing it till I see all them votes counted. And that's just a fact. I'm not doing it because I know how quickly shit can turn. Now, I will say this. One thing that I'm proud of is that the news media, from MSNBC to CNN, a lot of the non-Trump news media have been very, very, very respectful of Trump. Yes, they have called him out on the bullshit, but for the most part, nobody has been celebrating yet. Okay? And they've been very respectful. Calling him the president and shit, they've been very respectful. Okay? My thing is this. We have a bigger problem here, because here's the thing. The way that these Senate races are looking, the Republicans, Mitch McConnell kept his seat, Lindsey Graham kept his seat. So Darth Sidious and Darth Vader both kept their seats. Okay? So the reality is, even if Biden gets in office, he still has to deal with the McConnell-controlled Senate. Even though, here's the thing, and I said this from the beginning, Y'all know I always say this. Joe Biden is not a change president. He is a stop the bleeding president. Okay? And I say that all the time. And here's why. Because the reality is this. Without Senate control and Congress, they kind of duking it out. We may keep the House. It's still going to be tough for him to do certain things. Okay? It's still going to be tough for him. So, what I'm looking forward to, and I'm going to tell you this, what you may say, DDM, what are you expecting from a Biden presidency? To be honest with you, not much. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm not expecting much from a Biden presidency. What I do expect and what I'm optimistic about is that we don't look like asses on the global stage. We can repair some of this global damage that has been done to the reputation of the country. Okay? That's what I'm looking forward to. A lot of these extreme Trump supporters, and like I said, going on my trip to Western Virginia last weekend, they about that action. Okay? And they strapped. Don't mean we not strapped either, but they strapped. So they gonna think what they think. That's the reality. We're not going to change some mind. Everybody's mind ain't going to be changed. That's a fact. And when you look at that map, a lot of the South, hopefully Georgia, we can flip Georgia. A lot of the South, and when you look at this Midwest, from a moral standpoint, they don't care if your children in cages. They don't care if your black ass is getting shot in the street by police. They care if their kids is fucking drug addicts and junkies and high off heroin. They care about that. But see, here's the thing. They'll get the help for that. And if they don't, the reality is this. They'll find a way like black people found a way for 3 decades. I said that in my post this morning, and I mean it. And that's just the bottom line. We are a nation divided. And that's just a fact. I'm looking at this map here. Between looking at this map and my trip to Western Virginia, it's certain states I'm never visiting. As a black person, I'm never visiting. I'm never going to Oklahoma or Kansas or Nebraska or South Dakota or North Dakota or Montana. I'm never going there. Arkansas. They got to be giving me a big ass bag, and it's got to be a flight in and a flight out. Okay? When I look at this map, shout out to Arizona, still working it out. California, of course, we can always count on y'all. Oregon, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, Pennsylvania. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with y'all. I don't get it. Okay? We got Michigan. They call them Michigan. Illinois, Wisconsin. Shout out to Wisconsin. Doing what needed to be done. You know, I think that we have to look at that as a nation, because the reality is, with Joe Biden being in office or not, we still going to have to deal with the aftermath of the Trump era. Not saying that bigotry, systemic racism, and all of those things did not exist in America, because we know they have. But what Donald Trump was, and is a herald of bigotry and systemic racism to the mainstream and returning to the mainstream. We haven't seen shit like this in the mainstream since the days of Bull Connor. And that's just facts. He is a herald of that. So we still got a lot of shit to deal with. Now, with that being said, Nevada decided they was going to just take the day off. And one of the most important elections in our fucking history, Nevada said, bitch, we'll get back to y'all. We closed, we tired. We'll see y'all at 9 o'clock on the 5th. What's going on, Nevada? But then there's a development that Nevada may be getting us some more results later this evening. Which tells me that the governor probably said, bitch, what the fuck is y'all doing? What is y'all doing? The governor probably said, if y'all don't get y'all asses up, fuck, if they tired, call their asses in. Because here's the thing. Here is the thing. You don't want your state to look bad today. Not this week. If I'm a government official and I'm, God forbid, I had just happened to be one of these battleground states, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and all these different battleground states, you don't want to be the state that dropped the ball. You don't want to be Florida in 2000. You don't want to be Florida in 2000, bitch. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you may be too young. That was the Bush-Gore election. Okay? You don't want to be Florida in 2000. Now, with that being said, I hope that I really hope that we can flip Georgia. I really do. Because his league keeps shrinking, and I just hope that we can make it work. You know, I hope that we can make it work. But there's a lot that we have to cover. We have to talk about how, looking at this map, a lot of white folks, like when you look at the demographic, let's think about the demographics, look at the demographics, and I'm going to pull it up here. Just bear with me. I'm going to pull it up here because I want to take 2020 election demographic, voter demographic. Right? Because I was looking at the demographic earlier because I was researching. I should have saved it.
In the 2016 election.
Now, looking at the voter demographic here, right? Of course, a lot of the black vote went to Biden. More than 60% of the vote went to Biden. Of the Asian vote went to Biden. More than 60% of the Hispanic Latin vote did end up going to Biden. But when you look at this white demographic of voters, it tells you a lot because it's not in the 60s. It's not in necessarily in the 50s, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. Okay. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay. Now in Florida, let's take a look at Florida. %61% of white folks in Florida voted for Trump, according to exit polls. 89% of black folks voted for Biden. 52% of Hispanic and Latino people voted for Biden. Okay? And other ethnic groups voted for Biden around 59%. So, the Latino demographic was split. Black people was like, hell no. And white people was like, keep America great again. Okay? When we look at age, between the ages of 18 and 29, 60% of 18 to 29-year-olds voted for Biden. And I'm sourcing from the BBC. Okay? I guess I like international news too, bitch. 46% of 30 to 44-year-olds voted for Biden. 50% voted for Trump. 45 to 64-year-olds, 53% of them voted for Trump. And for people 65 or over, 52% of them voted for Trump. Now, here's what this tells me. Some money decisions were made at the polls. Okay? And here's why. Because you notice, like the saying goes, typically the older you get, the more money you amass, you become smarter with your savings. As the demographics, what I notice is the demographics start to increase in age, the more you see them voting for Trump. All the young people, for the most part, is fucking poor. They can't find jobs. They living at home with their parents. Say, hey, fuck this shit. This is not working for me. Okay? Which was interesting. Now, when you look at the national exit poll, this is the whole country, right? Of any gender, 49% of men voted for Donald Trump to 48% of Biden, within that 1% margin of error. For women of all genders nationally, 56% voted for Biden, 43% for Trump, within that 1% margin of error. Okay? Now, when we look at ethnicity, 56% of the white folks in this country voted for Donald Trump. Based on the exit polls, 87% of black people voted for Biden. That's not a shock. Okay? Out of Hispanic and Latino people, 65% voted for Biden, 32% for Trump. Okay? The Asian community, 63% of the Asian community voted for Biden. And of all other ethnicities, 58% of them voted for Joe Biden. Okay? When you look at age, it's pretty much the same story as in Florida. All the young people, 61% of the young people voted for Biden because they ain't got no goddamn money. Okay? As you get to the older ages, a lot of them did vote for Trump. Okay? Now, when you look at the demographics for 65 and over on a national level, okay, 65 and over nationally, it was about split within a 2% margin of error. 50% of 65 and over voted for Donald Trump. 48% voted for Biden. And the baby boomers between... well, they're not really the baby boomers. Between 45 and 64, they were split like dead half. Now, out of the people with college degrees, college graduates, 55% of the college graduates voted for Biden. Okay? Of the people with no college degrees, from exit polls, it was dead split. within 1% margin of error. So 2% margin of error. 49% voted for Biden and 49% voted for Trump. So for the people with no degrees, half of them was like, keep America great again. Half of them was like, hell no. Okay? So when you look at some of these numbers, it tells you the story. And we're very split. We're very divided. But one thing based on these numbers that we know, if we're basing it off of money, virtue, and optimism, young people went for Biden. Okay? So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Based on the exit polls as well, 35% of the country thought that the economy was the most important issue for them. Racial inequality was second at 20%. The coronavirus was 17%, so that was third. So basically, motherfuckers, in America, we care about our money. And that's why when people care about their money, they can overlook so many things. Fuck the fact that your fellow man is getting their ass beaten, getting killed. Fuck the fact that over 200,000 people have died from a fucking pandemic. We worried about tax plans. Welcome to, this is America, people. I mean, this is America. This is what it is. So, right now, like I said, we boxing. We in a fight for our life. You know what I'm saying? I took off the drudge roll from last night. We got on the hoodie and the do-rag. The next thing I'm going to be doing is Vaselining up my face, bitch. Who won it? Okay? Who won it? But, that's all I got for tonight. I'll probably be checking in again tomorrow. Because we're going to get some developments tomorrow. Hopefully it's some good shit. Okay? I want to say this. If it go our way on the left, and I know this going to sound crazy, keep it cute. Keep it cute. The memes and stuff, I get it. I fuck with y'all. I'm with y'all because I'm going to probably share a meme after I know it's solidified. But keep it cute. If somebody come in your space, your virtual space, antagonizing you, don't argue with them. Say peace, beloved, and block their ass. Once this is over, no matter how it go, we're going to have to find a way to move forward. And that's just the bottom line. Stay grounded and understand that, yes, because here's another thing, too, before I get out of here. We still got to deal with Trump until January if he loses. Then we don't know what kind of court shit he going to try to pull. What kind of legal stunts he going to try to pull. Okay? So even if Biden's win is confirmed, we are not out of the woods yet. We still got the rest of November, December, and up until January. So I ain't even going to really be two-stepping come December 31st, bitch. New Year's Eve, I'm going to give a slight sparkler and maybe a couple of sips. Because I'm still going to be holding my breath. Okay? But keep it cute. Like I said, you can always look here for updates. For my YouTube people, I didn't go live tonight. Because StreamYard, I didn't like the resolution, so I got to fool with that a little bit more. So I wanted to record it so it's clear and nice and what you expect. If you're not following me on social media, make sure you follow me at Dapper Dan Midas on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to make donations to the channel, you can also do that with the Super Chat feature or directly to my Venmo and Cash App at Dapper Dan Midas. Once again, I appreciate y'all. We are in this together. It is an interesting time to be alive. We are living in historic times, but I think that it is nothing that we can't get past. Y'all be safe. Have a good night. I'm going to try to back out of the news and watch the Queen's Gambit, but we'll see. Y'all be blessed and stay safe.